I come from a poor family, yeah. We ain't never had a lot, yeah. But the Lord been good to us, yeah. Now we riding on the top, yeah. I come from a poor family, yeah.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Builder of All Things podcast. I was like, where's the camera? Guys, welcome back to the boat. It is Wednesday. Brian, glad that you are here. Tiff, glad that you are here.
Glad to be
Richie
here.
is always here. Glad you're here, brother.
Go.
All right, guys. So today's topic is going to be one that I think is going to be a big one for the locals. And it's going to be being priced out of Hawaii. That's kind of a mix of Hawaii and Hawaii. Yeah. And so priced out meaning people leave. People leave for various reasons.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys want to start.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I will open the can of worms. It's
My man.
the new saying. But yeah, I'll just lead it because it's just a new leading. I think being in the construction industry, living with a local, born and raised from three major parts. You weren't born in three parts, but you're from the three major parts. Growing up in the Big Island, Hilo, Waiʻi, here locally, and in Molokai.
Hey.
You said that right. Good job.
Hey.
Yeah. So, I've been here 22 years.
22.
And just watching this develop, no pun intended.
Sure.
Being priced out of paradise, it's we have 4 kids and 10 grandkids with 2 on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about legacy. Breon you have a kid, 1 on the way. Mace dog, we're gonna watch this one day and appreciate this. You have a baby, 1 on the way.
No, that one came out.
Huh?
Just like, no, just one.
Okay.
One.
I was like, is there
No,
news?
just one. Yeah.
Brian
I don't
actually
think-
has more than 1 kid and he's actually a grandpa too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Thank you for
And
adding
he
that.
has
It meant
more children.
growing up here is what I meant. But yes, you are.
I gotta make that clear.
Thank
I got you, B.
Yeah,
I'm regular.
Brianna,
I got you.
Yeah.
Not that regular.
Yeah.
I got you on
yeah,
that premium.
He got kids and grandkids. It's populating. We actually got to spend time with Breon's family here.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which was really cool, man. Just seeing grandma, mom, and his daughter here and husband Josh. Got to meet him for the first time, and the baby. Oh man, it was just great. Just seeing P-Town in the house.
P-Town.
Here. But man, yeah, it's guys. I really, me and Tiffany, we talk about this for years, but just watching this develop, being priced out of paradise, really what it is just the expenses. It's getting very expensive here on the island.
Yeah.
Home prices, what happened in COVID and in inflation, just happening so dramatically. I just read an article this morning that we are the most expensive.
Oh, now we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of all
we
50
topped
states?
it. Of all 50
Yeah.
states, we're the most expensive when
Wow.
it comes to
We
expenses of living. So we topped that list.
Well, when we talk about expenses, living, what's the most expensive thing you guys seen in a grocery store recently? While you guys are thinking, there was a one time. Go ahead.
No,
Rich.
go ahead.
Yeah, I overheard someone like buy the milk aisle, and they're like, "What the heck? Milk is $10 here?" I'm like, "Yeah, fam.
That's regular,
Yeah,
that's
right?
regular. That's regular
That
life,
is
bro."
not regular. That is not. Let me tell you, from the newest person on the island, that's not regular, man. Like $3 is milk.
Yeah.
That's what I hear from.
Yeah. Like on mainland in Illinois, $3, $3.50. Like it's been going up, but $10 is just
It's
it's a
bananas.
whole nother.
Well, let me ask you this, Breon. Like, you gotta have milk though.
You have to have milk. You absolutely have to,
So-
especially with a child.
So how do
Yeah.
you manage that now? Like before, you go through milk with $3. That's three gallons
Yeah.
versus 1 now. So now you're talking 33% change. What does that do to your lifestyle with milk?
But having a child, they don't understand that.
Mhm.
They just want milk.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. That's all they understand. I've had milk. Let's keep the milk train going. And so there's really nothing you can do but buy milk. But the price difference when I moved here, that was the number one thing that everybody said. How are you going to be able to afford to live there? The price of living is crazy there.
Yeah.
And it's just you have to try and find a way to make it work. Like everybody that I know that lives here, like outside of our immediate circle, it's mostly just people I meet at the gas station because those are really the only people I talk to.
So when you go to the gas station,
Yeah.
tell me about these conversations. You just like,
Oh no, like
you're like, hey, what up, fam? Like, what you getting today?
so this is how it really happens. So I go to the gas station and it's like you become a regular and people change the way they speak to you. You go from, just regular talk of the way that service people talk, and then it ends up with a more friendly hello and
yeah.
oh, I'll see you tomorrow, or oh, we got this thing that you like, or it becomes more personal. And one of the guys from my work gas station also works at my home gas station.
Oh, you got two different.
Whoa.
You got the
But the
work
same-
at
you got the
home.
What in
gas
the
station
I got gas
buddies.
stations, right?
Gas station buddies.
But he has two jobs. Both of them just happen to be at gas stations,
Wow.
and it's just that's what it is. My other buddy from my work gas station, she also works at Home Depot, which is right there next to my work gas station. So I spend a lot of time in Home Depot. So I see her in both places, and I think that's what triggers it for me. Like once I see you in more than one place, like you my person now. Now we rocking. When I see you, I'm gonna talk to you directly and see what's up.
But I think you really hit home with something. To survive out here,
You gotta have two jobs.
one job is not enough.
It's not gonna
Sometimes
do it.
two jobs ain't enough because there's not enough time. Like the pay doesn't get bigger.
Yeah,
You're just
Right.
working more.
Yeah.
Then you got to manage your energy.
and then you and your wife might have to have two jobs,
Yeah.
and then what does that do for the kids?
Yeah.
Man, it's getting crazy. What kind of things for you, honey, have you noticed that just are just crazy, outrageous, pricey now? Just in the past 3 years with inflation. Because you, while you're thinking, she's the one that buys all the food, so I don't really look at those
Well,
prices.
here's the thing: is I've noticed, of course, like the increase with milk and eggs and things like that, but I've learned to become a lot more resourceful. Just studying the markets, paying attention to the prices when I go. So now I know that if I want to get a gallon of Horizon, which is the more expensive milk, because it's the organic and very sought after. If I want to get a gallon and not pay $16 for it, I know where to go to get that gallon of milk to get the best price, and it's actually only $7.99. But yeah, so just really studying while I'm out there, learning to just always be aware. Yeah.
We've been heavy into buying in bulk, like take advantage of Costco, break it down, put it in plastic bags, freeze some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even with that, space. Like you need space for a deep freezer. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
you only get so many square feet in the house. So yeah.
One of the sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the biggest changes that it was just like boom, like you recognize it, was a $1 drink from McDonald's.
Oh.
Now it's $1.50.
Dude, yeah.
We buy two. So sometimes we just get thirsty and we just want a big jug of Powerade or whatever it is. I drive down McDonald's. I'm like $1.50. Dang, we buy two each time, right? Now that's $3 versus two. And then
Yeah.
each
No.
dollar goes a long way.
Dude, he brought up a really good, because McDonald's used to be you could go there and spend like less than $20, but now
Feed a
a
family.
value meal is like 15, 16
Yes,
bucks.
it is.
Like what the heck?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
And we moved here, and there's a Wendy's right by our house, and I'm like, okay, 4 for $4s. There is no 4 for $4 here. No. 4 for $6,
Yeah.
4 for $8. Like, yeah. It's just not a 4 for $4 thing
No,
going on.
yeah.
And that's just across the board. So I couldn't imagine just being somebody working a minimum wage job
Yeah.
and just trying to make it. Like, you definitely got to have family live with you, roommates, and, probably some other kind of assistance.
It's so bad here. I was just reading by 2026, they're trying to make minimum wage $18 an hour.
That's wild.
That's crazy to think. I mean, yes, I agree, or even more, but that's how bad it is here. If you just think about it as a measuring tool, like that's how
Yeah.
expensive, and that's not enough.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
That's not enough.
No.
that's not.
Mm-mm.
I think 25 is not enough.
Nope.
getting close, but
Getting
not
close.
enough. Yeah.
I think we're breaching.
Yeah, you
like-
a scrape by.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You're still in survival mode.
And one of the things I see a lot with my friends or just IG and local stuff is everyone has some type of side business.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Hawaii,
Gotta,
that's just
gotta.
you
Let's
got to you have to, and that's just like what Tiff was saying. Like you kind of adapt to it, so you think of things on how to sell things and whatnot. For families, it's knowing where to buy things, like you said, Tiff. Yeah, you just kind of learn to adapt.
Yeah.
But then when I think about other places like the mainland, it's like, dang. yeah, exactly. It's like, man, all I want is just a yard, man. I just want a yard.
Like the biggest, what I've learned, man, is like when we sold our home, the complaints of our townhouse when we sold it, I learned what was valuable. They're like, oh,
Yep.
you got no yard. Oh, you got no garage.
Yep.
I'm like, but the house is tight though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
we renovated all this, it didn't mean nothing. Like, no storage, no yard. Adios.
Mhm.
It was really hard to sell. It was like, wow, okay, I see the value here is like having a yard is so important. I mean, we with our kids and grandkids, like the yard becomes dining space because you're all year round. You don't got to think like inside or indoors all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
Even in our designs and things that we do at the construction company, we think of outdoor spaces that can be utilized all year round, but then you need the land to do it. And that's like
Yes.
the biggest challenge is like great ideas, great weather, and that's why everybody wants to come here. It makes sense, but it's an island.
Yeah, and that great weather is actually a big reason of why there is so much homeless here is because the other states are sending the homeless here because it's a year-round warm. I mean, I just read that Alaska is passing a thing where they're gonna send the homeless out here because it's warm. Like that's wild to me.
I've heard I've heard people talk about sending one-way tickets out to
Yep.
Hawaii.
Yes.
And that's a thing. That's a
Yeah,
thing.
they're doing it on the mainland. They just send them down to like Florida or California
Or
or
it's
somewhere.
warm.
Just
Yeah.
put them on a bus.
Just give them a package, yeah.
I mean, not to give people ideas, but if I'm in Peoria and that's a thing, I'm gonna pretend to be homeless for a year and get my free ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get my free ticket. I know where I'm going. Hey, it's like
you want a
college,
ticket out to
military,
Hawaii?
or homeless. And I know where I'm going. I'm just gonna go on vacation. I'll live the tent life. Like, that's another thing too, is like, is as much as the homeless part sucks, it's almost like I envy them sometimes because it's like we do have these needs and certain things, but man, just what's happening with the world and everything in it, it's like how nice it is and to think about anyway, just be off grid. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
be off grid. And but the challenge for them is they don't have the resources, and I get it, it's totally different animal than going camping, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
But just knowing like sometimes just being off the grid, like I almost envy them some days. As much as I don't, because I can go get a nice
I
shower.
don't.
Well, yeah, because you've been there.
I
been
don't.
there,
I
done
was
that.
Right,
homeless
right.
2 times. I don't envy any of that.
No, but I mean in the sense of just being disconnected from the mess.
no
of-
emails.
Yeah,
no,
just
yeah.
everything, man. Just the
Yeah.
disconnect. But yeah, I think what I've noticed, like just yesterday, I'm on this health thing with trying to eat whole foods, but I can drink coffee. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to Starbucks, get me a little coffee, and so I was like, I'm gonna get I understand all the mixed drinks and all that is expensive, so I'm gonna get a regular coffee, but give me a couple like squirts of the hazelnut. You know what I'm saying? Just give a little
Mhm.
flavor. And so I get this like $8.
Mm.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like,
you gotta
I'm
reread
like,
the
wait a minute.
receipt. Yeah.
I have $8. You know what I'm saying? But that didn't make sense to me. I didn't realize like each squirt. So okay, so what I'm trying to say is like, it's very important to pay attention to even those little things. Like with every business that we're doing is like what my wife was saying, just to be more wise and smart with your shopping, because obviously I could have got the coffee for like $2.50, but I didn't realize adding those hazelnut shots or whatever they are was like another $2-3 each.
It adds up fast.
It
Yeah,
adds
it
up.
ain't worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It
it's
ain't
not.
worth like the coffee itself is cool. You know what I'm saying? So just being wise while living out here is very important. You can't just like I mean, obviously, we're all going to be looking at prices, and we're all going to argue at the $8 coffee. But
Yeah.
I think just thinking about that across the board, when you got to make, you almost got to weigh it out. Like if you're going to make spaghetti
Right.
at home, look at all the ingredients, what they cost.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah,
just
compare.
go to Zippy's
Yeah.
and save some money.
Right.
And
time.
and time, and serve
Yeah.
somebody, you know, who needs a job, who's working at Zippy's. You know, I'm just saying, like, you almost got to weigh out everything now.
Everything. Yeah,
Everything
absolutely.
to see if it's even worth cooking at home now, as much as it's healthier in certain things.
When I think about, go ahead. Good.
I mean, like even a lot of our conversations, you'll be like, okay, Brian, is it worth having you drive there, drive back, do it, whatever the material cost is, or would it just be cheaper if I just pay the laborer to do it?
Come on.
Like everything really, really, really has to be broken down to see what level it's at and how it should be handled. Because yeah, just doing things just because you want to or it's the way to go is, like you just said, my whole family was here. It was very expensive, right? But you want to show them a good time.
Yeah.
You want to show them the
Yeah.
island. You want to make sure that it's an experience for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that experience is not cheap at all. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
God
no.
for them Kamaʻāinas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they get the tourists. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is one of our notes from today is tourism, the industry of tourism, which it is supposedly. I shouldn't say supposedly. It is our number one source of income
Yeah.
for the island, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is, I would just look percentages. If that was like 80 million or whatever billion that's bringing in, and then you look at all the jobs it creates, that's the argument. But the jobs are low paying jobs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's really an answer unless you're working 3 of the tourism jobs you're providing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Based on it's not really shouldn't be our main focus all the time, because it's like we need to diversify what our workspaces are for locals to make something that makes sense.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that's worth it.
yeah, to sell
Yeah.
Aloha shirts or Lays, you're sitting at the stand working, making probably, I don't know, minimum wage. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And then I think too, as locals, if you're out there listening, we got to change the landscape of tourism. Like, instead of tourism being this whitewash, like Hawaiian aloha thing that people want to come see, we should change what tourism is. Like, provide, like powwow is a good example of locals creating art on buildings and creating that as the tourism. That's a local thing, you know what I'm saying? Versus
Sure.
coming to see this whitewash version of what they think Hawaii is, almost taking over the I don't know what I'm trying to say, taking over the tourism thing with more local
based
Traditions.
anything that's not so geared towards what the whitewash version of tourism is here, because it's also a false sense of what's really here anyway. It's almost like you're coming here for this fantasy experience that's not even what this is. Like, we were just at the luau, you know, to show the family the experience. The luau is real, but then when the hula dancers get up onto the Elvis song, I look at my wife and I'm like, sorry. I already know. It's like a false sense of hula. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not even real. Like, that was fake. That was like actually insulting, you know, to sit there and watch your culture be made fun of.
You know, it's funny now that we're talking about it. When I think of being priced out of paradise, like that title, I don't. Now that I'm not thinking of it as people leaving the paradise, but it's like our culture being not erased, but
Whitewashed.
yeah, because now they're just there's 3 targets now. I'm like, all the small businesses like leaving, and it's just losing like the
Closing up,
essence
yep.
of like growing up and what Hawaii was to me, and all these like just local shops. I'm like,
the artisan shops.
and I'm like, man, they're being priced out of paradise.
It almost feels, and don't call me crazy, but it almost feels like it's a part of the planned agenda. You know what I mean? Like
a slow
a slow
drip.
progression of just all these mom and pop shops that we grew up knowing having to close down because the prices of the real estate, the prices of of the the
Goods.
supplies and materials,
Yeah.
the goods have gone up. And so how are you supposed to survive? You have no choice but to shut down. And what's left is all these large conglomerate, big box stores that, of course, they're going to survive because they're big box stores and things of that nature. So it almost feels like it's a forced thing. Like it was, I hate it. Like, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's always, as a local person growing up and also a native, like, you got to look at those things. You know what I mean? It's just, unfortunately, it's part, like, from growing up, from as far as I can remember, we didn't have Kmart, we didn't have Walmart, we didn't have all these big box stores. It was all mom and pop shops. And you would go there and you get your goods, happy. Everybody, it's like the society is feeding, the culture is feeding itself, right?
Yeah.
But now you got, like, we're so dependent on these mainland companies, these big box stores, that it's almost like we forget how to survive, and that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not, I can speak for Tiffany and probably all of us here. We're not here to complain. I mean, we're going to share the issues, and not to say we have all the answers either. This is really just to open the topic of discussion. It is a discussion that needs to be vocal now, and not only like on a podcast with us, but just out in the community. Because the more you talk about things, this is business, right? Like, we have issues that come up or things that aren't working out. The only way to resolve them is to really understand the issue to its core, to talk about it, and then come up with next steps. And those next steps start eventually moving towards a solution or an answer in certain things. So, I think looking at the challenges we're limited on space. Right? I think that's, I think the first course started with the land was stolen and wasn't thought out properly and then infiltrated. Basically, it's like, I'm going to take over your house and then we're going to hurry and move in. Now what you got to deal with is a messy house. Now you got to kind of come back and kind of refix everything. And that's like, that was like the core issue is, number one, was it wasn't like partnered and planned. It was like stolen and infiltrated. So that created the mess from the beginning. Now we got to deal with everything after that, right? So it's like, now we're looking at all these issues of, now you've opened the doors not only to America, but internationally for anybody to come in. And this land that wasn't even theirs in the first place, now they're selling it at top dollar. They're selling goods, they're selling the land, and then those people come buy the land, realize other people want to buy the land, so they're selling the land for even more. And if you keep doing that, what happens is it's a commodity almost that has a lot of value. And it just, people keep wanting this thing, and it's just the price of it inflates and inflates and inflates. And the people that were always here
can't afford to be here.
Yeah.
And it's now it's like, you got locals, people that have been living here, trying to just survive, just normal Joes, man, just trying to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just get by. It's hard. It's getting harder. So, this podcast, we want to be a voice, and just talk about the subjects and see where it goes.
I don't know. What's the first thing that comes to mind for you guys on not defending, but kind of combating this, people coming in and buying out stuff? Because the one of the things I think about on the forefront of my mind is when they buy out, like those, not hotels, but those condos near Waikiki, Ala Moana, but they don't live there. It's just like their home. And now it's like empty units, and they just come here, I had a friend who worked at one of the hotels, that condo area, and he said, like, there's cars, like super nice cars that have dust on them because they're just not there. Yeah. I'm like, so what are you guys doing? Like, there's gotta be laws on something on that.
Just using it as storage.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's a couple of Native Hawaiian active members of the council who are fighting to help, or at least get the ball rolling in the direction. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but New Zealand has it's called the Overseas Buyer Ban. So it bans anyone who is not native to the land or who is married in from coming in and buying the land, because there were too many, investors like China and all these other places that was coming in and buying the land, developing, and then maybe leaving it vacant for, snowbirds, right?
Yeah.
And things of that nature. So there are people here who are fighting, who are trying to get the ball rolling. And of course, we can keep our fingers crossed, but what it boils down to is greed, right? The prostituting the land. This is a beautiful, beautiful place. Everybody wants a piece of it. Everybody wants to be here, enjoy the year-round sun and all of that stuff. So they can make a bunch of money doing it, right?
What's a snowbird?
People who come here in the wintertime.
Okay.
A seasonal bird.
Yeah.
Seasonal bird, yeah.
Okay.
They fly from those winter, like where you guys are from, flying here
we know
during
all
the
about
winter.
'em.
Yeah. So moving here, that was a big discussion for me and my wife. Like, we don't want to be seen as those people or be outsiders. And even when I'm talking to Richie and he's like, "Oh no, man, you good? Come on." I'm like, "Bro, you're an outsider. You can't invite me in, dog." Like,
It's got to come from Tiff.
like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But the prices are just like, I was just
Insane.
looking at houses last night, and like the first house that popped up on there was like 13 million. And I'm like, "Oh no, I need to change my filter. Like, this isn't where I'm trying to be at with the
I gotta
with
bring
the
the
price
scale down.
all the way down." Yeah.
All the way.
So
Yup.
yeah, it is. It's a fine line
Yeah.
in wanting to be here and grow and raise your family and being a snowbird or is. And the locals, they don't know the difference. And I think that's another reason why, like my gas station people, once they see, oh, he's just an everyday Joe, just working, trying to, okay, all right,
Regular gas.
I'm
Regular.
regular unleaded. They're like, "All right, man, come on, like you're cool." But I can see, especially in what we do, how it can be a problem, and how it's just it doesn't make sense because you see properties that are just beautiful and they're just sitting empty because the snowbirds are somewhere else because it's summertime everywhere in the world. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's valuable to say, basically on our podcast of why we turned down the TV show, is with God in this. Obviously, the last resort is you don't want to ban people or put something out where they can't come here, but it's like we need to figure out something because that's where it's headed. Because what else can you do where there's no more land to build on and certain things? So it's like we really got to dig into this because the last resort is there are God called people that probably need to come here, right? Like if the missionaries never came here, like God, there's things that probably have to happen. But when you look at the investment, flipping, all these other things and almost whitewashing the culture, there's a lot of things that you got to protect. So I don't know what the answers are. And I think over time, open this conversation will do it. But I mean, it's like if there was people, say like Breon, you're to come here, but part of the program of the state is you got to be educated on the culture or the things, you know what I'm saying? Like there's an entry
Like
program.
prerequisite.
Yeah, prerequisite. It's
prereqs.
almost like a subcontractor coming on our job site should get job site safety training and job site.
It's like the Kuleana contract.
Just like the Kuleana contract. Something where if you do come in, right? But if you're in here and you're a big baller and you're trying to do this investments and flips, man, I'm bring up Golden State Warriors again. I'm gonna bring up the NBA. We like if you're able to do a luxury tax on these guys, it would actually push them away unless they really had the money. And then what if we can use that money for actual local needs? Like actually put that money into place. That tax is specific. If you don't come here and buy land, you're going to have a very high luxury tax.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think they just passed.
Let's
They were
go.
working
That's what
on
I'm talking about.
passing
See-
it, or they passed it to where if you come in and you buy some property, there's a huge luxury tax. I shared this with you before, remember?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like you pretty much lose out on everything.
That's
If
a good
you,
deal.
If you come in, you buy a piece
a
of
good
property
deal.
and you sell it, the percentage is so high. I think it's
That's
100%. It's 100%.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, yeah. So you basically lose out on everything.
So you're just basically starting
I
on
gotta
a flat.
go and look. I'll bring it
Yeah.
into the next podcast. But they are either working on passing it or they just passed it. But I seen it in the newspaper and I was so excited because of because I'm a local Hawaiian girl,
There you go.
and I've my whole life I just seen from empty fields, Ko'olina, all of that, all just
go.
kapole, ever,
Yeah.
like all fields, sugarcane fields, and now look at it. I just seen the progression and what's happening to our Aina. It's disturbing.
Yeah, I think what's most disturbing is like it's not about the development and the sake of development. It's okay to develop land, but it's like if I have a house and I want to build an addition, right, on it, but this area is like where my garden is, like don't build here. But if you just build wherever you want, not being mindful of everything, because everything could be used, but it has to be stewarded properly. And I just don't think it was stewarded properly. Even to this day, like we have this housing crisis that wasn't imagined or thought of, but we're in a situation where the streets, the way they're laid out, the waste, how
Can't handle
we can't
everything.
handle all the people. So it's like we building more homes is not going to happen. It can't even
That's
happen.
not the answer.
It's
Yeah.
not even the answer. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that was the thing I learned in that DPP hearing was the DPP director said they pushed out ADUs and they wanted to get 20,000 new ADUs here locally, but they had to like kind of slow that down because the waste couldn't handle all those the waste lines now that the infrastructure now couldn't handle all those people. And I was like, whoa, slow it down. That sounds like some agenda stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just say we're going to put in a program and then slow it down. I'm like, you just revealed something to me. It's like, oh, that's why permitting might be a little bit slow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that seemed intentional slowdown that he said. And then he resigned, I think a month later. I don't know his name. I do know his name, but anyway, I'm gonna put it out there that he might have been actually trying. He might have been trying to be a solution and realized inside nothing was going to
There's
happen.
almost always a
Yeah.
deeper backstory to
Yeah.
things that
There's
people don't
always
see. We know that
Perspective.
being business owners.
We do
There's
know that.
always a deeper story to than what you can see on the outside.
Yeah, and it might be an agreeable story. Like I might say, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like right now we're dealing with it out in real time, real life. You know?
So me being an outsider and I hear the luxury tax thing, right? Like that would suck for me
Yeah.
because I'm really trying to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I would like if there was a program where they're like, hey, if you're going to buy land here, you have to be here for 5 years. You
That's
have to
what it
pay
is.
taxes.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you have to put your kids in
Yeah.
our schools.
Yeah.
You have to help the community grow.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, like that would make sense. Because
Yeah.
if you're just overseas and you're like, oh, there's space, let me build a house there, and you never come here,
Yeah.
you never see the space, you just flip it. That is
That's-
absolutely ridiculous.
That's exactly what it is. It's you have to, because most of these people are coming in and doing that, and then they'll come remodel, renovate,
Yeah.
and then they sell the property for more. But if you're here, you're living here, and you're actually habitating, habitat,
Yeah.
yeah,
Habitating?
If
If you're living here. It's okay, little B.
Sorry, I had an attack.
That was good. No, but you're right. If it's like we are in the middle of like this is why why would the conversation come up on builder of all things? Because as construction business owners, we're seeing all this develop firsthand. Like
Yeah.
and some of it we're now processing and understanding, wait a minute, like we're right there where we can continue to be part of the problem or part of the solution.
Yes.
And so that's why we're bringing up the conversation, because we ain't going to be part of the problem. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Is that we want to be part of the solution. So we're navigating, we're trying to process and bring up this conversation. Number one is we don't know all the problems. We don't have all the answers. This is just a conversation. So anybody out there listening, you know, I would say bring up some stuff you want us to talk about. You know, some people, we're going to start bringing people on and talking to them. We're going to dig into this because if we work together as a community, I believe we can come up with some answers. Like I was just we're watching Hijack on Apple TV with what was the main actor?
Idris.
Yeah. Who is the main actor?
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Just,
And there's a point in there, sorry, if you haven't watched yet, get off the podcast right now. I don't want to run it for you.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. But there's a point on there where it's hijacked. He's on there as, you know, he's trying to help save it, but they started passing this drink down the aisle, and it basically was mounting everybody up, like telling them, hey, there's more of us than them. And so they started telling everybody, and everybody was like, yeah, starting understanding, like, wait a minute, we all just come together, like we can hijack the hijacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so everyone started coming into agreement. And I only bring that up to say that, like, there's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us. There's 1 point something million on this island going through the same thing. And there's only a little bit of them. Them being the people that are governing this blindly, that are just investors that don't care anything about the culture or the land here. Those are real little. They may have a lot of resources, but there's a lot of us, which is a resource, right? In and of itself. That's the resource, is the numbers of people. And if we come together and you guys can just share, we're just being a voice, but I believe awareness and a voice is the first start, right? Is like, let's just talk about it. Right?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it and see what happens. And then, but yeah, priced out of paradise. It's affecting all of us.
One last thing I wanted to mention before we close out was, I think just off the top of my head, the laws, I think we should find laws that reveal their intentions, like people buying. Their intentions being, one, they want to make more money, or they want to actually live and be in a community and want to help thrive, you know, help the communities thrive. And I think bringing laws like that will reveal that would be easier to sift out, you know, people or stuff like that. That's, I guess, is kind of my takeaway. But B, you got anything before we close out?
And just the people in power, just being honest with the people who live here and really just seeing what it is, not making it a money grab. If the problem is, hey, we can't get rid of all the waste from all the people that live here. Like just be honest and put people in the position to be able to make their own decision and actually care about the people that live here. Like me being an outsider, I know my voice shouldn't be as loud as Tiffany's voice is because what Tiffany cares about is way different than what I care about. I don't want to come here and offend anybody or do anything wrong, but at the same time, like, she's been in this fight way, way, way longer. So us going somewhere and voting on something, our vote shouldn't be the same. It absolutely shouldn't be the same. And people with money, they get a chance to use their money to influence votes. And that's where I see the biggest problem being. Like, you really, really, really just need to take the time to listen to your people and see what's going on and do the right thing.
That's good, B. Because listening to you say that really touched me. And I think that's all people really want, is to be heard, right? They want to be heard and they want the truth. And if you give that to them and you know, just, I don't know how you were raised, right, of course, but somebody from the outside like Breon can come in and already just grasp that. You know, that's what we need more of. We need more of that. And so thank you. Yeah, because you almost made me cry. But yeah, that's,
I'm just being regular.
just that regular
Just being
unleaded,
regular.
man. But I appreciate that. That really, like, it gives me hope. Like he said in a previous podcast, it brings healing. Yeah. Because it softens the heart of the people.
And I don't think you know, people from Hawaii they don't close their gates.
No.
It's just, you know,
What are your intentions?
What are your intentions? Yeah. Because what is a law if you close the gate?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Hawaii, because just the people and the, yeah, I don't want to get too nuts.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think you understand. Richie?
yeah. I
Yeah.
think the closeout is, I've heard the comment that like Hawaiians, the culture of Hawaiians is like the host. I think that's wrong. They're the owners. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're not the host.
Mhm.
Like I think that concept needs to be erased. And if you
Mm.
understand that it's somebody's ownership of a home and you're a renter, that's like what I've learned too is like renters, they don't take care of owners' homes. You know what I'm saying? And that's like what we're dealing with. But if you recognize who the owner is and you're living with them, like it'll be a different mentality. You're gonna make sure you can keep your spot.
Respect.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
from the beginning of time, this is just a little faith injection. I mean, God gave Adam an assignment to steward the land and gave him tasks to steward. And that's what I love about the Hawaiian culture is they're just stewarding the land. They know it's not theirs. And if you really understood Hawaiian culture, they're not just saying it's our land. They're saying this is the land God gave us to steward, and you're not stewarding it right. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about the ownership part to sell it. It's about to take care of it.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. It's to take care of the land, and how you take care of the land. It's not even just about the dirt and the dirt of itself. It's about how it serves us as people, food, how to survive here, how to live, right? So at the end of the day, they know how, and they were equipped and they were assigned to steward this land. And then now, it's not being stewarded, and that's the issue.
Right on, guys. We're opening it up. We're opening up the conversation.
Yes, we are.
And so that's what we're trying to do here, guys. We want to hear from you. Tell us your stories, and we just want to come up with ideas and get the conversation going. Because I think that's when things start to happen, right? It all starts with a conversation and an idea. But guys, thank you for joining us on the boat.
Yes,
Yeah, we're gonna see you next week, right?
yeah, every
Next
2
week?
weeks.
Every 2 weeks,
Let's do
yeah.
it.
Right on, guys. Thanks for being here.
All right.
All
I
right.
come from a
Shoots.
poor family, yeah. We ain't never had a lot, yeah. But the Lord been good to us, yeah. Now we riding on the top, yeah. I come from a poor family, yeah.